Hello, guys. Welcome to How You Living, the show that's all about health and wellness and getting to know yourself a little bit better. I'm Dr. Kiva, your chiropractic yoga person.
Hey everybody, I am Robin B., your favorite tea lady,
The tea
owner of
lady.
You Endure Tea Company. And today we have a super special guest, don't we?
Well, we are still on, or we
Women.
are on women.
We're
on women.
We're focusing all about women and all the beauty and power that comes with being a woman.
And to recognize that too, because a lot of
Yes.
women don't recognize the beauty that they have inside.
In the power of
And
being a woman.
exactly, because we're
Absolutely.
powerful.
That's right. That's right. So we brought a truly powerful being with us today, and it is our pleasure and honor to introduce Priestess Haneera Abounu.
Welcome.
Welcome, welcome. We are so happy to have you.
Well, thank you
Thank
for
you,
coming.
Priestess. Yes.
Thank you.
So please give us some background about you.
Okay, so my name is Priestess Haneera Abounu. The last couple years, I started a podcast, the Divine Feminine Podcast. So if you hear the voice, that may be what you recognize. But how did I become priestess,
Yes.
right? How did
Yes.
where did priestess come from? Is this some certificate,
Right.
right, that happened, or some self-initiated
Right.
process? Actually, none of those things are true for me, although they have been for sisters and daughters of mine. So for me, I started over 10 years ago
Okay.
on my journey. When I started, I had locks down to my bum.
Wow.
And that was my journey. And I started actually with a local organization called the Center.
Okay.
Okay. And one of the things that they did, they had a pilgrimage or a time where they would take people that were a part of the organization back to Africa.
Oh, okay.
Right? So
Oh,
here
yes.
I am, right, born and raised here just like the rest of us.
Right.
Right? And I said, I need to go to Africa. Something said, you need to go, you need to go. And so about 3 years into my journey, I go to Africa.
Okay.
Life changed forever.
Where did you go? Which countries did you go
Okay,
to?
so that first trip, I went to about 5 or 6 countries. Because again, this is a pilgrimage.
Right.
We're going all through West Africa to
Okay.
different temples.
Beautiful.
These are temples that had the knowledge from the Pharaonic times
Yeah.
and took it and ran to preserve it for all this time.
How
So-
long was that first trip?
The first trip, I spent 2 months.
Oh my.
2 months.
You would need to,
Wow.
right?
Yeah, to really absorb everything.
To be
I
able
bet
to
you didn't want to
travel.
come home. That's my concern is I won't want to come home when I go.
You have to spend that
Yeah.
time. And
I'm
serious.
we were in nature the whole time.
Right. Oh,
the whole
okay.
time. So
Well,
it was
that's
me and 2 of my kids. Right.
Right.
You
Getting
wanna
a
go
little
in the
creature
penthouse.
comfort, Right. I'm sorry.
No. But you know what? That's where, when you talk about, and we were mentioning off camera not too long ago about the metaphysics.
Yes.
Right? You know, you're not going to find that closeness and that call in the city under
Right.
this electric blanket that we're under.
Absolutely.
You're not going to find
The
it there.
industrialized world is
Yeah, that's
not
like trying to
under-
look at the stars. You can't
Yeah.
because of all the city lights, you know?
Right. That's
Something
true.
so simple like that.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
So you have to go out and look for the knowledge. And so that's what happened.
Okay.
We went to Burkina Faso, we went to Benin, Togo, Ghana.
Wow.
I went through those particular countries on that particular trip.
Okay.
Wonderful. Again, going to different temples and witnessing the culture that had been preserved, again,
Okay.
from the Nile, from the Pharaonic times, right?
So you did not come across a lot of Africans who practice Christianity.
Wait, that I didn't say that part.
Okay, because
This
that's,
is-
yeah.
I mean,
Because we
considering
know-
that Ethiopia and Christianity is sometimes considered the birthplace
Well,
of
it's
a little
very,
bit, right?
yeah, absolutely. That's why I figured you probably did.
Colonization
Yes.
is everywhere.
Yeah,
It's everywhere,
yes.
even on the continent.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we have this
I get started there.
some fairy tale in our mind, right? That when we study Kemet and when we study the origins, that when we go back today, it's going to be just like that.
Right.
And
You have to dig. You really have to be seeking it.
seeking.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm so grateful for that particular trip, because it was exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
It wasn't, like I said, we weren't in the fancy hotels, which all of those countries have that.
Right. Yes,
right?
they
So
do.
you measure your level of comfort,
Right.
with convenience. But that's not where we were.
Okay.
Right? We had the backpacks.
Right.
We were hiking.
That's awesome.
We were traveling to waterfalls and different places to learn, study the mysteries, right?
That's beautiful.
And so on this trip, we went to Benin, and we visited the Pontiff's Temple, which is the head voodoo pope
Okay.
over the spiritual system. This is for whether you're in Brazil, whether you're in Louisiana, whether you're in Jamaica, no matter where you are, the headquarters is in Benin. That's where voodoo started.
So can you speak a little bit on voodoo, because that scares a lot of people, and it's not really a negative connotation. I mean, it is a negative
I think it's
connotation.
scary because of lack
That's
of knowledge.
because of ignorance, lack of
Right.
knowledge. Absolutely.
And not only that, maybe present day, but where that came from, that's propaganda that was fed to
Of
us.
course,
Oh, yes.
like witch doctors.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
oh,
it's
yeah.
basically just like using the earth to
Yes.
do things.
And we love our
We like some
crystals.
earth.
We like all the things that come from the earth.
Go
Yes.
step in the dirt.
That's
Yes.
all it is. It's a study of the science, of the elements. That's all it is.
And that's why it's effective. It works.
Very effective. And that's why our ancestors used it. And that's why the colonizers, our slave masters and things like that, demonized it.
Yes, absolutely. To remove the power.
To remove it, just like they removed us speaking our native tongue.
Absolutely.
And now here we are. The only thing we know is English. Barely.
How's that? How's that? So,
Barely.
I'm teaching myself Swahili because my partner's from Kenya.
Yay.
So we have a good time talking.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. We need that. We need to be able to communicate in a language that's older
Yes,
than
than
this
the United
system.
States. Right.
Yes. Yeah. So that's how it started
I
for
love
me.
that.
I was on that particular trip and went to visit the temple, and there was a queen mother there, and I remember her, and she took us to out in the forest. She said, "I'm gonna take you to my village." I said, "Okay." So we spent 2 days there. It
I'm
was
gonna
like
take you to
30
the good stuff.
to the good stuff.
Right, the real deal.
So we left Ouida and we went to her village and we spent time there, and there were ceremonies going on. You know, in the
An
church they
experience.
say catching the spirit,
Yeah.
catching the Holy Ghost.
Everyone
Right.
had the Holy Ghost, didn't they?
Right, and
Wow.
and now where I am today, I'm like, well, which spirit?
Right, right.
Well, which ghost was
Right.
it? Well, you know, that's how I am today, right, as a
Right.
practitioner.
Absolutely.
But back then, being a daughter of a Pentecostal
Right.
pastor,
Right.
minister, my auntie has a church in LA now, right?
Okay.
This is the family lineage I come
Right.
from.
Right.
This is what I knew. So in this ceremony, I didn't know what was going on. I
Right.
shouldn't have known.
Right.
I couldn't speak the language, right? All I had was a backpack, 2 kids, and an honest sinker. I tell you, when I knew everything that was going on, had no idea how I knew it, but I knew what was going on, who was doing what, and it just felt
It was
natural
innate.
to me.
It
I
was
tell you what it
innate.
felt like. You ladies use shea butter.
Yes, of course.
Do you remember the first time you used shea butter?
No.
Well, let me tell
Well,
you.
I had an afro back then.
Right.
It was
I know
all
it
about
felt good
the
on
shea
my
butter.
skin.
Yeah, it smells wonderful.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How does the shea butter feel compared to the cocoa butter?
Right.
Or the Jergens or anything else?
Right,
You
right.
see where I'm going?
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's goes right
pure.
into
It melts
it-
on your skin, and it's just so beautiful.
But with that, we need to take a little short
Okay.
break.
Okay.
We got like
So-
a million questions.
Yeah, because we want to get really into understanding the voodoo
And the healing parts
Yeah,
too. Yes.
exactly.
That'd
So
be good.
join us and we'll take a little short break so we can come back and learn more about this healing practices. We'll be right back.
Primetime is now a virtual call center staffing agency for customer service professionals. We provide our agents opportunity to earn a great income, create your own work schedule to fit your needs, and do it all from the comfort and safety of your home. As a bonus service and incentive, we offer access to professional legal consultation who will write letters, provide phone calls, review contracts and documents, 24-hour emergency access, prepare trial defense services, court representation, and many other benefits. Send us your resume for employment at info@primetimeisnow.com. That's info@primetimeisnow.com. Or check out our website for both services at www.primetimeisnow.com. That's www.primetimeisnow.com.
And welcome back to How You Living. And today we have Priestess
Haneera Abounu, Priestess Abounu.
And so she has a podcast
Yep.
called Divine Femininity.
Divine
Right.
Feminine Podcast.
Divine
Feminine.
What is Divine Feminine?
Oh, right. No, that's a beautiful thing. So the Divine Feminine talks about the energetic principles of femininity and the feminine energy, right? So everything in this existence, right, is gendered, right? That's one of the universal principles. It's one of the universal laws. To find out more about that, you guys can look into books like The Kabbalion by the three initiates, right? It goes through those principles. And so because everything is gendered, that means everything in existence is that. So when you start to study certain spiritual systems, like Voodoo, Ifa, Lukumi, Sangom, all of those spiritual systems within the African traditional, say, religion, the ATR umbrella, right? You will find the deities or the gods or the Neteru or the Orisha or the Voodoo or the Obusu, whatever name you want to call them, they will be gendered.
Okay.
Right? And the feminine energy is within everything. So everything has a masculine and a feminine side, and that comes with different properties. And I teach about that.
That's
I
beautiful.
teach about that on my podcast. I teach my mentees about that. I needed that water.
Yeah, and we are so sorry. We are waterless today.
I went to Ifa. I guess she was a priestess, and she said I was Ashun. That was my deity.
Nice. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. I can
So
see
like,
that.
Okay, I'll take that.
Yay.
So when we look at voodoo, you know, because it doesn't really freak me out.
Is it like a healing? Is voodoo really used to heal?
Of course it is.
Okay.
Of course it is. And that's one of the things I wanted to bring out really for the Houston community.
Yes.
What they have to look forward to this Sunday at the pop-up place from 3 to 6 when we're having the Divine Feminine Festival. What they have to look forward to is a time of healing and rejuvenation for women. What do? We work our 9 to 5. We leave that. We come home. We're with the kids. We're doing this. We have to have time for the man. We give.
100%.
When do we recharge?
Right.
When do we revitalize ourselves?
And
when do we do all of that?
Right.
We don't
And they
do
want to
it
call
enough.
us angry.
Right.
We're just tired.
We're just
exhausted.
tired. Built up frustration.
Built up frustration.
And we need help.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
we need help.
So the
And
festival is to celebrate the femininity?
Definitely. It's definitely to celebrate the feminine. We're going to be working with the elements, of course. Me, myself, I'm going to give a very brief outlay of the importance of purity, spiritual purity, natural purity. And we're going to go about that cleansing process, right? And so this is one of the things, and I do work with herbs.
Okay.
I do herbs, rituals, I divine as well, all of those things. And so one of the things that we're going to do on Sunday is cleansing your aura.
Oh, that's very good.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
Can use
we
your
don't
crystal
know,
to do it all the time.
we don't know what we pick up,
Right,
right? As we're going about, right? And so we're going to cleanse some people have never cleansed their aura.
Right. Some people don't know they have an aura.
Right.
You know?
Some
That's
people don't
all-
cleanse
That's
their
why
own
it's
body.
enlightenment.
What does that mean?
That's what it's all about.
You know, when someone told me that during COVID they were telling people they only had to shower once every other day or something, I said, who told you this? Why would you-
The Ashton Kutchers of the world.
Well, yeah.
They don't believe in showering.
So that is an event that's happening here.
In Houston.
On
But you know,
Alameda?
but what I find also is that, like, if I want to go to an Ayurvedic doc,
Uh-huh.
or if I want to
On every
even go,
corner.
you know, you can find
Everywhere.
if I want to do Asian acupuncture, you know, you
Absolutely.
can
Or
find a
traditional
herbalist.
Chinese medicine.
So
That's
how
everywhere.
does one find someone who is in their city
Right.
that offers an African diaspora viewpoint of healing?
Yeah.
That's good. You know, well, let me tell you this. So the Queen Mother, going back just a quick second, going back, Queen Mother, I ended up then going back and initiating with her.
Okay.
So where I am now in my journey, I am her right hand,
Wow.
and given the territory of Northern America.
Wow.
Right? Given
That's
the
a territory.
territory
So
of
you've
Northern
not
you've got
Texas.
work ahead of you.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, very much so.
Yikes.
And so there's nowhere in the United States, if there are women that are ready, I will not go to.
Oh, my
Right.
goodness.
So the temple, my temple will be in California.
Okay.
However, just like the festival is here,
Yeah.
if there are groups of women anywhere
Okay.
that want to call me for a healing weekend,
Wow.
for a recharging weekend, for whatever needs to happen, I will go because
beautiful.
this is my territory.
Beautiful.
Right? But if you're saying, you know, Priestess, it's just me, I don't know a lot of people, I don't know, well, you can connect with me, of course, online.
Right.
But I will also say this, the school that I started with, they have a location in 3rd Ward
Oh.
off of Arbor Drive.
What's it
I think
called?
I've been there before.
What's the school called?
It's called the Earth Center.
The Earth Center. I've seen
Because I
that.
think they had something that was there to learn herbs, and I went one day.
Yeah, they do
So-
have that, and their healers, like I said, their healers come from West Africa, and that's where I started, and so that's where I would direct people to,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Outside of me.
So the Earth Center is
Yeah.
a healing center as well?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
that's
they have a
good.
school where they teach
That's where I
philosophy.
need to go.
Right.
Yeah, but that's local. But you know, a lot of
Okay.
our audience aren't just local.
Right.
And so that's why we have to think, like, if you're
Right. San
international,
Diego.
you know.
You're based in San Diego?
That's where the temple will be, but let me tell you, I have people in New York.
Okay.
I have people in Florida.
So that means
You have a
contact you,
network.
and you got a network.
You have a network.
I can send you here. Okay.
Absolutely. So that's very smart. We need that. You know, you can't do
Yeah.
all North America by yourself, right?
That's true.
Do you also do remote healing?
I do. So a lot of my consultations are via Zoom
Okay.
or FaceTime or
Okay.
any of those things.
Okay.
When it comes to the divinations, we do it that way. Your spiritual work will be done. I'll send pictures or let you know, okay, it'll be done this time. And give the women a full picture of what's going on. Like there's things that you can do to aid in your healing.
Right.
And let me just say that to the women
Yeah,
as well,
please.
because you are your house first healer.
Yes.
You are the mother. You are your children's first deity. You are the one that gives life from your breast, right?
Right.
This is what gives life here,
That's right.
You birth them out through your canal, and then you give them life here. So what I do is give you access to power to do the things you already have access to do, right? Whether that power is knowledge, right? That's power, or whether that's activation, or whether that's the rituals that need to be done to align things in your favor. All of that gives you power. And so that's what I give you, but it's nothing that you can't do yourself. So a
Nice.
lot of
It's
what I
just
do
being aware.
is teach women
Right.
self-empowerment.
Beautiful.
So let me ask you, so
That's
a lot
beautiful.
of times now people are trying to create altars.
Yes.
So if someone is new and they want to be able to create an altar,
That's
Yeah.
good.
what are some of the things that maybe they need to put on an altar?
And then and what it's used for.
Yeah,
Right.
you know, exactly.
Right. So the altars are used for ancestral veneration. Right? And the reason in spirituality we use ancestral veneration, it's one of the things that's part of our culture that was omitted during colonization, and it takes away the family structure and admiration. You can see where society is
Oh,
now,
absolutely.
not having that family
Right.
structure and
Absolutely.
admiration, right? But what it did, it weakened us and made it easier for, say, us to be susceptible to different religions. I won't go on that path because we ain't got enough
Yeah,
time.
That'll be another
Right,
subject.
it's another
I mean, yeah.
another day.
Another
That is another, yeah.
But I will just say this, because the Creator, however you call him, whatever his name is to you, however you call him, because that Creator needed your mother
Yes.
to create you, needed your blood to bring you into this existence. Likewise, when you go to the divine, you go through and up that same channel. So what does that mean? Number one, it's important for us to have a good relationship with our mothers. And we'll talk about the importance of mothers and the great mothers and how they have an impact on our spirituality on Sunday. So if you guys want more about that, you need to come to Pop-Up Place.
Or do you ever talk about how if you're with a man who doesn't have a relationship with his mother?
Ooh,
Is that
that's
a whole
that's a
nother
red
subject
flag. That's a red flag. You don't want that.
Right.
I mean, you know, that
That's
divine
very
Yeah.
true.
No, that's
Yeah.
very,
That's very
true.
true. Would be, and that'll have some impact on your children's spiritual
Yes, of
life.
course.
If you choose to have children with him, how he treats you,
Right.
that all of those are cute. So yeah, that's a whole nother
Yes,
conversation.
that's you brought that up properly.
Yeah.
That needs to be really
needs to-
said.
Right.
know,
You have to pay
addressed.
attention to
Uh-huh,
that.
Exactly.
You do,
Yeah.
right? Because in that feminine energy, one of the things I teach women is it's all about your choice, dear.
Right, yes.
That's
Yes,
what
it
you
is.
have.
choice and balance. Because
Right.
like you said, both male and female energy, so it's to
It's
find
all
that
in
balance
choice.
also.
And so with the altars, right, you have a way to venerate, admire, give respect to the ancestors or relatives who have come before you, right? Because in spirituality, that's who we go to. We call on grandma to give messages to the divine to us. We ourselves, this system we live in, they have us really arrogant, where we think we can go straight to God.
Can I share a little crazy little story? Just real quick, because when you said that, had a very close relationship with my mother-in-law.
Okay.
So when we like light a candle for her every Sunday, we talk to her, because she is so close to us. So every time I invoke her, she finds the way to manifest.
Yeah.
So this Sunday we had an event to go to, and I was like, Mama Brenda, I want you to be close to your son. Let him be successful today.
Yeah.
Do you know when I walked out my front door, what was there?
What?
I'll show you a picture when I get a chance. A hawk. Never had a hawk in my life. Never saw a hawk in my life. Standing on a bare branch, and I said, "Thank you,
Right.
Lord, thank you." I know
Right.
that was her.
Yeah.
So your ancestors, are they basically your spiritual guides? So are those two different entities? Because I would like say
Your
a prayer to my
guardian
ancestors
angels.
and my spiritual guides, but are they
I
one
call
and the
them
same?
all. I call
Well,
them
you
all.
know, yes, they are different.
Okay.
It is different, right? Because when it comes to spiritual guides or the deities that say came with you, it is that say your energy holds, your bloodline holds. So say you came from a bloodline that is the element fire, right? So within that fire element that your bloodline comes from, that element itself is a deity. So you see how there'll be certain traits from your bloodline, and everyone will have those traits. Those traits, well, those are all connections to the deity for your family.
That's beautiful. So on an altar, what would be a typical thing that you would put together?
Perfect. So for ancestral altar,
Okay.
right?
Yes, that's what we're
because that's the start.
Absolutely.
That's the beginning.
That's-
You would want to have it in a space that is, I don't want to say pure, but it should be in a remote part of the house, right? As human beings, there's certain things we have to do to survive, right? We have to eat. In order to survive, we also have to procreate, so we have to have sex, right? These are things we have to do. And then also in this body, another thing we have to do is go to the bathroom, right? So these are 3 areas we should not have our altar.
That's good. That's
Don't
very
have it
good.
in the kitchen or
Don't
the
have it in the
restroom.
definitely don't have it by the toilet.
Right.
Right. That makes perfect
So
sense.
you can talk while you're
Somewhere
on the
that is
toilet.
sacred and quiet and
Right,
peaceful.
because on the other side, they don't have that same experience, right? And so when it comes to interacting and engaging, we want to make sure that we have it in a place. Now, some people are saying, all I have is my room. Is there a place in your room, maybe you could set up some borders, right, to protect it? Or do you have a walk-in closet? Can you use a space in that closet that's only for this? Now, what I would tell your listeners to also keep in mind before you start down the path of ancestral veneration, right, is that you need to ask yourself, am I committed to this? Because one thing I don't want to happen to anyone is for them to start down this path, they get tired of it. The altar is dirty and dusty.
Right.
They don't never come
Disrespecting
back.
the ancestors like
Because
that.
that's a different energy.
You know?
Of
You
course.
set it up, it's
Of
beautiful,
course.
you were
Right.
motivated in the beginning, you done brought all the pictures
You have
here,
to be committed to
right?
that.
And you don't go to it.
Right.
And so you don't then want to say sadden, agitate, or frustrate any of the energies that are excited to interact with you. Okay?
Because I know we gotta go.
I know. Time
We definitely.
is not our friend.
No, but it's important to
So
let,
we need to have a part 3.
we absolutely have part 3 of the
now
woman.
the beauty of it is on your podcast,
Yeah.
you do explain all of this.
Yeah.
So tell our listeners again how they can, your podcast.
Yes.
What's the name of it?
Divine Feminine Podcast. We're everywhere that you listen to podcasts. When you put that in, though, a lot is going to come up. So put up Priestess Haneera.
Okay.
Pull up
okay.
Priestess Haneera and the
Okay.
podcast will come up. I actually have a series
Okay.
on ancestral altars, so you
Oh,
guys can check that
perfect.
out.
That's what I
On IG, I'm there at Haneera Abounu. You guys can email me. But really, you guys need to come out on Sunday.
Absolutely. And it's
Really.
free. Is it free?
It is definitely
Okay, so
free.
this
That's a
is
good
free.
price.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
from
best.
3 to 7.
Right.
You come from 3 to 6.
Oh,
and
3 to
you,
6.
3 to 6,
And
yeah.
it's a pop-up place on Alameda.
On Alameda, I think it's 4306
Okay.
Alameda, something like that.
Okay.
It's right across the street
It's a
from
beautiful
Peggy
place.
Park. It's
Beautiful.
beautiful.
Love
Now,
it.
we're going to be doing all of these things. We're going to be
Okay.
doing the purification spiritual bath. Well, I'm also going to walk people through how to release any of the negative emotions that are coming with fire.
Ooh.
Now it's beautiful. Now, if you want to participate in that part, it does cost $20, and that's fine because that's a very
Money
small
well
price
spent.
to.
Money well
Yeah.
spent.
It's an investment,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then we're going to have vendors, food. We're also going to have meditation, yoga, singing, but all of the things you need
Everything
to
you need to
recharge
regenerate,
and
yeah.
release.
So
and
guys, if you're in
relax.
Houston
Hey.
for May 8th, which is Mother's Day,
Yes, this
you
Sunday.
can definitely come up to the pop-up place and come check it out. Get your, is it just for women?
No, it's not for women.
Oh,
And it's for
nice.
everybody.
So,
So
guys,
take
bring your mother,
take your
bring your
mama.
woman, right? Bring your daughter.
Yeah, especially bring your daughter, bring
Yeah,
your wife.
bring your daughter.
you
We're
know, so-
talking about that.
Yeah,
It's
'cause-
time for young women to understand.
Exactly,
They
and this would be
have
an ideal time. Well, thank you so
You're
much.
so
We really
And
appreciate you so much. And we
You
will
know
bring
we're
you
going to
back.
have to have, next
If
time
you
you're in
will
Houston,
Grace us. We would love to have you back. There's so much more to know.
you'll be, spend the whole time with
Yes,
us.
God bless you.
Oh, guys, I know the
Yeah.
time went by quickly, and she's so soft-spoken.
She is beautiful. Makes me really try to bring mine down. a
That
few
ain't gonna
octaves.
happen.
I know, I'm trying. But we will also have the priestess information on our Instagram, on our Facebook, and we'll make sure we lead to yours as well so they can find you.
Good.
And so our producer is saying,
Yeah, we
snap
gotta
it
go.
up,
Wrap
snap
it
it
up,
up.
So there we go.
So thank you guys for joining us. And as always, I want to ask you,
How you living? Peace.